Alright, I am doing my vlog for the post 9/11 kind of a discussion of religious pluralism and the effects. First, I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions. Feel the group achieved true dialogue? I feel like some people more so than others in the group, but I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens when you throw a bunch of random people together. And true dialogue, not really. I mean, they weren't really coming together to solve a problem, but there was, I think people got to share their beliefs and views, and that was a good thing. Were there active voices? Yes. There are more reserved voices. Well, for active voices, there are a few people that really were kind of solid in their beliefs and were more confident speaking up. The more reserved there were, and I think that's just the nature of people being introverted and extroverted. It's just gonna happen. What role did I play? I contributed some, more than others, less than some. So, but I feel like I contributed a valid opinion. I think dialogue is an opponent of Library 100 because this is college and we're supposed to be becoming more adult-like, and in an ideal adult world you have dialogue. Useful tool in your university experience. Depends on who you spend your time with, where you spend your time, and what you do. I mean, if you stay with the same people, you're not really, getting out much. And probably not so much, but depending on how and where you get involved. I feel like that's something that could happen. But then just getting onto the topic at hand, not a problem. I guess it was a dialogue on religious pluralism, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like there was much to do with the 9/11, because of the way it's phrased on here, the terrorist attacks of 9/11 and explore the personal and global impact of 9/11. Kind of talk more just about just kind of being open to discussion and talking about kind of your beliefs and cultural relativity and whatnot. So I think that was okay. I was just always kind of waiting to see if we could actually talk about 9/11 more so than just religious pluralism and whatnot. But for me, at least, I feel like religious pluralism it's kind of like one of those ideal things, but it's just not possible. And we give the example of the Irish Catholics, but like in today's society, you see Angela Merkel, who is the chancellor, the German chancellor, October 17th, 2010. Multiculturalism has utterly failed. And then in February of the past year, you had President Nicolas Sarkozy of France and Prime Minister David Cameron of England, both admitting that multiculturalism has failed. You have, over the summer at Utrecht, or I don't speak Norwegian, but Norway, the guy killed 77, injured 125, simply because he doesn't like foreigners, and all the fighting right now with the Muslims and the minarets and the or whatever, the veil. So the reason it worked in the U.S., I think, is because people came to the country and they wanted to be a part, and so kind of the overriding desire was they're willing to become a part of the country. But now you just have all these religions and just combative towards the government and combative towards just assimilating. And so religious pluralism is difficult in that sense when if you're a true believer in your faith, then a lot of them do call you to counter against the government, and even within that, you're always going to have radicals. You're Christians, you have Timothy McVeigh, you have Muslims, and you don't, you can never really achieve pure religious pluralism, because all of these views, in one way or another, will eventually combat each other, and it's just there's no way that you can achieve kind of peace, relative peace, unless everybody, it's not so much as accepting of other beliefs, though that's part, it's more so, at least in America, wanting to be an American more than anything else, rather than just coming to America to work, but still want to live in communities like in England with the Muslims. They live in England, but they have their own communities with Sharia law, and it's just, it doesn't work unless everybody's committed to the same, is on the same page. But even in that case, religions are so different, and the cultures that people grow up in kind of drive religion, and religion drives culture, and so you can't really, you have persecution. You're always going to have persecution, regardless of religion or not. People are always going to persecute those that are different from them, and it's just not, it's not possible. It's ideal, but human nature is always going to be looking out to better, your own people. And there's always going to be people that are just trying to screw everything up. So, for me, I'm a Christian, and so we're called to love, and so I'm not out to look to pick a fight. I'm not out to strictly just be counter to everything, but especially like with the building of the mosque. It's the mosque in New York. It's just, you can't do that just because it's just a nerve kind of that just set off such a chain of events that led to the deaths of so many people. I know other Muslims died, but it's just the image and the effect and I guess I'm running a little long, but kind of the image and the just 3,000 people died. And I know there are Muslims too, but that's kind of what people are always going to associate is kind of Islam with those attacks. And then the ensuing, just kind of like what happened going into Afghanistan and then kind of going into Iraq. So many people's lives have been affected by that. And while, religion may not play a key part, well, I mean, it does play a key part, which should not be the big reason. It's in fact kind of lumped in, and so there's always going to be stigmas, and people are always going to have, one different issue or different issues associated with different religions, like Jews are Zionists, and they're all controlling the banks. Like you have to account for the human element, and I think that make religious culturalism or religious pluralism so hard, because people just don't like being different, and so you really feel like you really have to be separate or have everyone solely be striving to be like an American, but